Morning, everybody. I'm Bill Hancock, Executive Director of the College Football Playoff. We're here to talk about New Orleans and also the transition to next year's CFP Championship game in Miami. To mix my metaphors, New Orleans knocked it out of the park. We're so proud of the job that the folks here did. They worked on this for a long time, over 2 years. It's an event like things they've happened before, but not precisely the same as things they've happened before. And they've done a great job. Everyone from the host committee to the city public safety people, police, fire, and others gave us a seamless arrival of the president. One of the most seamless presidential visits that I've ever been involved in. And due to a large part because of the job that the city folks here did. I also want to congratulate the hospitality industry, who has always rolled out the red carpet to make everyone feel welcome and let everyone sample the joys of the city. Most of you were at the game last night, and I'm sure you shared with me the astonishment and just wonder at the fans. I have to salute the fans from both teams. My goodness, what awesome fan bases we saw in action last night. And there's nothing else in sports to match the passion for college football. And we saw it exemplified in its very best form last night at the Superdome. That's a remarkable building. If you think about the history that happened there, all the great things that happened there in sports and otherwise, I want to congratulate the building staff, too, for having just done a wonderful job. When New Orleans won the bid for this championship, we had high expectations because of their history and because of their heart and soul of the city. And as you know, as they like to say, laissez le bon temps rouler. And the bon temps rouled in New Orleans big time this weekend. We couldn't be happier. I want to say a special thanks to the folks from the New Orleans host committee who did such a great job, Jay Cicero, of course, and people who are going to share the stage with me this morning, Monique Morial, the chair of the local organizing committee, and also our friend Jeff Hundley, the CEO of the organizing committee, and of course the number one kahuna at the Sugar Bowl. If I could give a Gatorade bath to both of those two, I would. If I could give a gumbo bath to both of those two, I would. The selfless professionalism, attention to detail that Monique and Jeff in particular brought to this, and their team brought to this, is unmatched. And we're just delighted by the job they've done. And Monique and Jeff, I want to tell you publicly that you will always be a part of the CFP family. And of course, you'll always be very dear friends to Nikki and me and all of us.
Good morning, everyone. We appreciate you being here on behalf of the local organizing committee, which is headed up by the Sugar Bowl Committee and the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation. We're just thrilled and honored that you chose to be a part of this with us. You know, when we bid on this event a few years back, we thought we knew what we were bidding on. We'd hosted national championship games here in the past, crowned 28 previous national champions here in New Orleans, and had some BCS championships. But this was even more than we bargained for, and all in a good way. Everything that we could have hoped for and more in a major event. It truly had something for everyone throughout the weekend, whether you were here for the fun and the party, the music, the food, and then, of course, it closed off with the electricity that was in the stadium right before kickoff when Clemson and LSU teed it up, and there's no greater place in our estimation than the Mercedes-Benz Superdome for a national championship type event. We need to thank a lot of people, but first and foremost, I want to thank Bill Hancock. I've known Bill for a long time now. This happens to be the third national championship game that I've had the pleasure of working with Bill on. And he's a true gentleman, a true professional, and a great leader of the CFP, and we're grateful to have been a small part of this. Of course, he's ably assisted by Andrea Williams and Dave Marmion. They were with us for the past 2 years, showing us the ropes, telling us what they wanted, and we were able to mobilize and produce an event, hopefully, that made them proud. Our objective was to host the best one yet. Selfishly, we believe we did that. I also need to thank the conference commissioners who showed confidence in us and trust to host an event like this. Their faith in us is appreciated and goes a long way to wanting us to do it again in the future. Of course, the fans were fabulous. Both came, and they came strong. They came loud, and I believe had fun in the process. Really created a fun, festive environment throughout the weekend, something that people around here are going to treasure, and I know I will for a lifetime. Our hospitality community really came to play. They always do. You know, the major events like this are the lifeblood of this city, and they were ready to go, and from all accounts, performed admirably in the process in servicing our guests. And of course, we need to thank all the hundreds of volunteers that were at all the events. You saw them. They were well-trained, well-equipped, with smiles on their faces, and do it for nothing more than a hat and a jacket. But they're proud of their city, and they represent us well. This event for us, it was really great for New Orleans. It obviously brought us tremendous national and probably even international exposure, something that a tourism city like ours needs, something that keeps us going forward in the national spotlight. Obviously, the economic impact of the event is going to be hundreds of millions of dollars, a lot of that in direct state and city taxes, something that we're proud of to have been a part of in delivering it. And it gave us a platform once again to prove that New Orleans still has game. It's even more so, I've said this multiple times throughout the weekend and throughout the year. The CFP came here and they didn't just take, they are leaving a lasting impact in our city, particularly through the College Football Foundation headed by Britton Banowski. We worked for the better part of the past year on a teacher program that was designed to recruit and retain quality teachers in the Orleans Parish public school system. Millions of dollars were put towards that effort, and it's one that we believe will be sustainable for the future. So in doing so, the CFP proved that they really do have a soul and that they care about the communities that they come to, and we're grateful for that. I guess in closing, I'd just say thanks again to everyone involved. It's been fun, and I'm tired now, so I'm ready to move on and hand off. But before doing so, allow me to introduce Judge Monique Morial, who has been the chair of our local organizing committee board, and oh, by the way, also happened to be the first female president of the Sugar Bowl committee this year. So please welcome Monique.
Barely see over this. Good morning, and thank you, Jeff. It has been a tremendous honor to chair the host committee for the College Football Playoff National Championship this year. Our city is known for many things, but sports are an area where we shine the brightest. Think about some of the amazing sports moments the city has seen in recent years. Carmelo Anthony led Syracuse to an NCAA Final Four victory. Nick Saban won his first national championship here in the Superdome. Tim Tebow closed his amazing college career with a record-breaking performance in the Sugar Bowl. Anthony Davis dominated the Final Four. Breanna Stewart led the UConn women's team to one of its many Final Four championships. In 2015, more than 28 million people watched one of the first CFP semifinal games, and it was played here in New Orleans. I'm not sure any city has had more than 50 times its population tune into a broadcast event. Between Sugar Bowls, Super Bowls, and Final Fours, it's happened multiple times here in New Orleans. New Orleans has experienced its fair share of greatness. Many of the best athletes of all time have turned in legendary performances right here in New Orleans. Muhammad Ali won his final heavyweight championship here in New Orleans. A great thrill of my life was meeting him in the days leading up to that fight. Michael Jordan landed on the national scene here when he hit his game-winning shot in the 1982 Final Four. Tom Brady won his first Super Bowl here in New Orleans. And don't forget the quarterback with more yards and touchdowns than anyone in history, our very own Drew Brees. How do all of these things happen in this little city on a bend in the Mississippi River? It's because of our people. We love our city and we love to show it off. I hesitate to attempt to list everyone who played a part in hosting the 2020 National Championship, but I'm going to try. The Sugar Bowl Committee, the New Orleans Sports Foundation, the State of Louisiana, the City of New Orleans, the New Orleans Saints, our major sponsors, Entergy, Ochsner, Hancock Whitney, Harrah's, and Freeport McMoran, ASM Global, the Superdome's management group, New Orleans and Company, and of course, the Morial New Orleans Convention Center. All of these groups were part of this amazing event, but really every person in this city has been a part of it.